Australia, a country filled with kangaroos, with deadly spiders, with even deadlier snakes, and somehow it has one of the world's largest stock markets. Because apparently investors looked at a country where everything could kill you and said, let's invest billions right here. And today's video is going to be all about the Australian stock market, its history, its pros and cons, and we're going to look at if you should invest in Australian stocks. So stay tuned. Back in the 1800s, Australia was mostly famous for one thing, and that was sheep. It had lots and lots and lots of sheep. But one day, a person found gold, and everyone collectively lost their minds. Thousands of people rushed across the country to become rich, but instead they became excellent at digging holes. But all this mining required money, and that's where investors stepped in. So in 1871, the Sydney Stock Exchange was created, and it was basically a place where people could buy pieces of companies instead of arguing whose shovel is the best. Over time, Australians kept finding things underground: iron ore, coal, natural gas, lithium. Basically every time an Australian dug a hole, they found something really valuable, or they found a snake, or probably both. So mining companies, they became enormous in Australia. Banks grew alongside the mining companies, and interestingly enough, the Australian retirement system kept pouring money into the market, accidentally making every Australian an investor without even needing to study any candle charts. And that brings us to today. Today, Australia's main stock exchange is called the ASX. It has more than 2,000 listed companies, which includes, among others, BHP, the Commonwealth Bank, Rio Tinto, CSL, and a handful of other companies you probably never heard of, but that Australians insist are very important. And the benchmark index is called the ASX 200. You can think of it as Australia's version of the S&P 500, but with one very big exception, and that is that you will find that it has lots of mining companies, but very few tech companies. Now we're going to look at why do investors love Australia? Why do they put their money right there, of all places? Now, the answer is very simple. Australia, it has a very stable government, it's a very strong legal system, one of the highest standards of living in the world, and Australian companies are very generous when it comes to dividends, and investors love that, because who doesn't love getting money for doing absolutely nothing? And Australia, it's a country packed with resources, and as long as the world continues to build cities, build batteries, use steel, it has something very unique and useful to offer. But nothing is perfect, and now we get to the downsides of investing in Australia. And the first one is that, as you have probably understood, Australia has a lot of mining companies. So it's very heavily concentrated on commodities, and if the price of commodities fall, if the price of iron ore falls, then the mining companies will start to cry, investors will start to cry, and everyone will just start to cry. And as the Australian stock market is built up very heavily of mining companies and of the financial sectors, if one of these two sectors has a bad year or has a downturn, then the entire stock market will start to look very uncomfortable. And then we also have China. China is the biggest buyers of Australian resources, and if there's a downturn in the Australian economy, then suddenly every Australian investors become interested in Chinese economic news, whether they want to or not. Now, the question on your mind right now is probably, so should I invest in Australia? And the answer depends on what you're after. So if you're after very strong dividends, if you're after mining companies and exposure to the financial sector, then Australia is very much, and you're after a strong exposure to a stable country, then Australia is very much something you should look into and consider. But if you're looking after tech companies, then you might notice that something is missing. Australia doesn't have a Microsoft, it doesn't have an Apple, it doesn't have Nvidia or SpaceX or a lot of AI companies. But what it has is rocks. Lots and lots of rocks. And somehow these rocks and minerals and natural resources have made Australia into one of the richest countries in the entire world. So the next time someone says that Australia is the country filled with kangaroos and dangerous animals, tell them that they're missing one thing, and that is that it has a $1 trillion stock, that it has one of the biggest stock markets in the entire world. And if you're looking after strong dividends, mining companies, then Australia might deserve a place in your investment portfolio. Because sometimes the quiet guy in the corner is the one that is secretly getting rich. Now, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and leave a comment to let us know what you think. Thank you.